shows to elevate local brands, local stories, and local storytellers. Cloudcast, bringing ears and minds home.
The San Diego Union Tribune and Retirement Strategies Group present the Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show with your host, Drew Schlossberg.
I'm not Drew. I don't look like Drew. I don't even pretend to be Drew. But I'll tell you one thing. The thing you can't see is that I have two different shoes on, which is another story. Good morning. I'm Dave Mason, and welcome to the Community Spotlight, San Diego Union Tribune Community Spotlight. And I am substituting today for Drew, who's got some very important things to do. But we do have some very special guests with us today. And one of those is right here, right now. It's Jim Behun from the San Diego Sunroad Boat Show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me. We really appreciate it, and we're excited to be here and talk about the show.
You need to be very proud of what you've done. 11 years now with the show, right?
Absolutely. It was started in 2009. It used to be at the Marriott Marina downtown, and the NMMA, the National Marine Manufacturers Association, owned it for 20 years prior to that. And the economy took a dip, and they were going to basically cancel it. I thought that was really bad for the economy of the San Diego Bay and all of the brokers, vendors, people that do business around here. So we decided we needed to pick it up. We changed the scale of it. We're at Sunroad Resort Marina on Harbor Island. I put up a giant tent. We have a lot of vendors, and it's really worked out well since. 3
million plus people in San Diego County. How many boaters do we have?
Well, there's 21 marinas in San Diego Bay, as well as another 10 over in Mission Bay. There's probably at least 60 to 80,000 boaters. That includes people that have boats in their driveways, like Kenny and some others.
There's so many wonderful things about boating. My wife and I, when we first met, in fact, our second date was on a boat.
Nice.
Her brother-in-law had a 17-foot aluminum boat. So we went on the Ohio River, and we went boating, and I thought, well, this is really kind of fun. Where I grew up on Lake Ontario, there were lots of boats, but I was just a little kid. So at one point, I went out and bought a boat. This is it, a 19-foot Bayliner.
Outstanding.
And you learn a lot when you have a boat. There's a lot of things. Self-taught, I think we kind of. There was one afternoon we were on the Ohio River in Pennsylvania, and my wife said, well, there's a nice romantic spot. Let's take the boat over there and nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yeah, okay. She's driving the boat. Well, little did we know that the depth of the river at that point was about 2 feet, and it was full of rocks.
Oh, man.
So, and someday I could go into the whole lock thing, but
Absolutely.
There are so many fun, exciting things about boats. My son first drove our bigger boat. We had a 24-foot Bayliner when he was 11.
Fantastic.
And he was an awesome driver, just very good about it.
Well, what we've found, Dave, is that it's a great family thing to do. Kids love it. My kids have grown up around boats, and what we generally do is we put the cell phones just down below or in a case or whatever, and we enjoy the water, the wind, the weather. It is just unparalleled how nice it is and fun it can be, both power, both sail. It doesn't matter what type of boating. It's just a joy to get out on the water.
So we need to tell people about the Sunroad, San Diego Sunroad Boat Show, which is coming up. The show is when?
It is next Thursday, starts on January 23rd, and it runs through Sunday, January 26th. Thursday and Friday, it opens at noon till 6, and on Saturday, Sunday, it's 10 to 6. Thursday and Friday, we look forward to any active military, police, firemen, and we give them free attendance on those 2 days, and we appreciate everything they do, their service. I know we're going to have great weather, so it's going to be really a fun, great boating adventure.
And you have a website.
We have a website, www.bigbayboatshow.com, or you can go to Sunroad Marina Boat Show. There's a lot of different avenues you can get there. You can just hit San Diego Boat Show, and it will give you all the information. The other great thing is being on Harbor Island, we have 3 restaurants right next door. So we have Island Prime, Sea Level, and Costera. So you literally can walk.
Some of the best restaurants in town.
Absolutely. The Cohen Group is a partner of ours, and you can go across the street, have something to drink, come back, look at boats. You can come and go from the show. Great parking. We have an ABM parking lot right down the street. We have parking at the marina. I have a shuttle that runs every 3-4 minutes. So it's if you want to walk, it's an easy walk. But if you're looking for a ride, it's no problem. If you're coming with a big suitcase full of cash, we'll have somebody drive you there.
You don't need a big suitcase full of cash to own a boat, though, right?
You really don't. We have kayak displays, so you can get a kayak for $300. Now, obviously, we have boats up to 80, 90 feet, which are going to be in the millions. But one thing that's important is boating is a tremendous push for the local economy. With the San Diego Bay, with the Port of San Diego, there's an entire market that's out there of small vendors as well, people that do electronics, that paint boats, that do all of the work inside boats. And those small businesses make up probably 20,000 workers, and the total revenue from this show is over $60 million over a period of time. And that's a lot of money for small businesses, and it goes back into San Diego County. It stays local, so we do appreciate the support the city gives us, the Port of San Diego, and certainly you guys.
What makes this show so successful, do you think?
I think what makes it successful is it's an in-water show. So there's slips. You can walk down the ramp, and you can go on every single boat. There's brokers there to discuss the boat with you. You don't have to buy anything while you're here. Now, do they love that? Of course they do. They want you to come down and buy. But it's a great time to compare. You can see whether you like powerboats, sailboats, and you can ask a million questions. So you're able to learn all types of things about boating. We're a pretty fair split between power and sail. We have an enormous amount of center console, which are smaller fishing boats. You go right up the ramp from the marina, and I have a tent with over 100 vendors, and you can look at electronics. You can look at the latest gizmos, gadgets, what have you, and it's all right there, and it's close, and it's fun, and it's just a really enjoyable time and a way to spend with your family.
We're talking with here on the San Diego Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show with Drew Schlossberg. I'm Dave Mason in for Drew. And we're talking with Jim Behun, who's the general manager of the Sunroad San Diego, I'll get this right someday, the San Diego Sunroad Boat Show.
Sunroad Resort Boat Show, it's all good. As long as we're getting the name out there, we're happy.
Right. This is all very exciting. The thing about living in San Diego, I've lived in cold weather climates, and I'm hearing in some places it's 2 degrees below zero right now. In San Diego, you can be on your boat year-round.
Absolutely. The joy here is maybe it gets dark a little early, but it's still warm. You just throw on a light jacket and you're out there. And at Sunroad, we're right next to the bay. You can be out in 3 minutes. And I also have free boat rides. So if you come to the show, I have a boat. We're going to put some folks on there, take you for a little bay cruise. So if you haven't experienced the water, we want you to experience it. And it's a fabulous time to come down and learn about the water, the ports there. I've got a lot of educational seminars, so you can learn about how do I cruise to Mexico, how do I set up my boat, how do I do electronics, and it's all hands-on. So we welcome people to come down and really have a great experience.
We had dinner with a couple the other night, and he was talking about tuna fishing off the coast. And there's still tuna out there. I mean, San Diego at one time, I guess, was the tuna capital of the world.
Absolutely. Well, what has happened, Dave, the water is warmer, more north. So now you don't have to go deep into Mexico. You certainly can if you'd like, but you can go 3, 4, 5 miles out, and there's sometimes some yellowfin running, and you have a good chance of catching some nice fish.
Wow. That's awesome. That's very awesome. Now, if you're a sightseer, what can you see off the coast of San Diego?
Well, the beautiful thing is if you're on a little boat, you can go out to Point Loma and see the sunset just around the lighthouse, and it is probably one of the most spectacular photos you'll ever see because the sun goes down, the waves are breaking, the old lighthouse is right there on the end of Point Loma, and you don't even have to go out in the ocean. So if you have any kind of motion issue and you ride around San Diego Bay, it's generally calm, and it's just so much fun. And I know our families have loved it for years, and there's so many families that do that. So boating is not just one directional. It's not a big boat thing. It's multiple. So you can take a small boat, you can take a sailboat, a big power boat, you can take a charter boat. We have Seaforth Boat Rentals that's part of our show. So you can rent a 22-foot Catalina. All the makes and models will be there for you to experience. All the newest boats. You'd be amazed at how beautiful these boats are. And yes, some of them are very expensive, but you know what? The folks that buy boats generally are small business owners. In our marina, 80% are small business owners, and they're providing an enormous amount of opportunity for work for people, and a lot of that money goes right back into San Diego County. So it really is a really fun event, but it's bigger than just a fun boat show.
So let's say that as an individual, I come to the San Diego Sunroad Boat Show, and I start talking to some of these business owners. You think I could weasel my way into a boat ride?
Absolutely. You don't even have to weasel your way. I do it every hour.
Oh, do you?
So we have a boat that goes out from Seaforth Boat Rentals, and they can fit 20, 30 people on this nice little power boat, and it's low to the water, so it rides really smooth. And we take people on a little bay cruise. So if you haven't experienced the water, this is a great time to do it. And also, you can go on every single boat again. So if you want to see what an 80-foot powerboat looks like down below, we really do have the biggest selection you're going to see in San Diego over the year.
How many boats do you think we'll see at the show this year?
It'll be close to 200 boats, from small boats to large boats. So it's a fair number to get through.
That is, yeah. It would. How long do you think people have to plan when they come to the San Diego Sunroad Boat Show? How long should they be there?
Well, the beautiful thing is, if you just have a particular boat that you've already picked out, you can go right to that. If you want that Beneteau sailboat, you can go right down there laser sharp and do your business there. Or you can spend 4 hours going through all the boats, walking around, go over to sea level, have something to eat, come back. So it really just depends on the time you have, but we'll take you all day if you have the ability.
What got you interested in boats, you personally?
Me personally, I grew up in D.C. in a little town called Hyattsville, and it was a low-income area, and I used to go to the Anacostia River near D.C., and I would see these little boats out there, and I just fell in love with it. And over time, I became a boat captain, and I ended up doing deliveries here on the West Coast, up and down. And it was just something that I gravitated to back in Maryland, and I actually love it. I have a couple boats now, and you'll see me out every weekend or every day that I can go out, and I just love it. It's hard to believe this is my job.
We're going to talk about this in just a little bit, because some of the other places I've lived, there are some days that maybe you can go out, it seems like 3 days a year, but we'll get to that and the benefits of living here in San Diego and finding out more about the San Diego Sunroad Marina Boat Show, which is January 23rd through the 26th. And the location again, Jim?
It's Harbor Island, right at the very end of Harbor Island, 955 Harbor Island Drive.
Now, we're going to find out more, because there are a whole lot more things to talk about. Boating is so much fun. It's such a great pastime, hobby, sometimes even a way to live. And
it's a lifestyle. Absolutely, Dave.
We'll get into that coming up next. This is the San Diego Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show. I'm Dave Mason in for Drew.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
Welcome to Cloudcast 180. We're here today with the president and CEO of Father Joe's Villages. Welcome to Deacon Jim Vargas.
Thank you, Charles. Good to be with you.
We have 3 minutes. Let's hit it fast and furiously. We're going to talk this morning with you about San Diego being a very expensive city, which creates a housing crisis, which is exacerbating the homeless crisis in San Diego. Let's talk about your leadership on this issue.
Sure, absolutely. We do have an affordable housing crisis here in San Diego. In fact, if you ask about the number one issue why people fall into homelessness, it's lack of affordability. And so they fall onto the streets, especially when rents go up, and rents are very expensive here. So we at Father Joe's Villages focus tremendously on housing. In fact, about 40% of our intervention is placing individuals into permanent and affordable housing. All right, so shows you the extent of what we do. And of course, there's services that go along with this, because in order for people to retain their housing, their dwellings, they have to have the services that they're necessary, whether it's mental health services or substance use disorder services, whatever that is. We have a Turning the Key initiative, whereby we'll be introducing 2,000 affordable housing units into the community during the next number of years. In fact, we just closed on a deal to purchase and refurbish a motel in the South Bay area. It's going to add 83 permanent supportive housing units. Next week, we'll be closing financially on a groundbreaking that will have 14-story building, 407 units of housing as well, taking about 550 people off the street. So housing is extremely important.
Which means you're investing a lot of capital. How are you finding that capital to solve the housing crisis in San Diego for homeless folks? 90
to 95% of our funding is public funding. Various sources, whether it be from the state, it be local, county, city, municipality. So most of it is public funding. There's tax credits that are involved there. The capital stack is quite large, actually.
So you're finding the land, you're finding the capital, you're changing lives. How are you minimizing the risk of future homelessness for these clients of yours? We're minimizing it through our services.
We need to make sure that in order for them to retain the housing, that they receive the services that they need, that are holistic and are comprehensive to their specific needs.
That's fantastic. Deacon Jim, in the last 10 years, your organization has taken 11,000 folks from homelessness to a home. So I congratulate you. Any closing thoughts for our audience?
No, that's what it's all about. And, I mentioned public funding, but at the end of the day, the bulk of our funding is philanthropic. And so I would encourage your listeners